Hey guys, and welcome back to Middle-earth Updates. Today we've got some fantastic news to share about the upcoming Lord of the Rings The Hunt for Gollum movie. We'll be diving into exciting updates, including new details about which actors have been approached to reprise their iconic roles, most notably Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. But it's not all positive news, as some actors have reportedly declined a comeback, and we'll be discussing the implications of that. And almost most importantly, Philippa Boyen's statements about future Lord of the Rings movies being planned, including a full-out epic new trilogy. So let's get started with a quick overview of the Hunt for Gollum movie, and then we'll break down all the latest details in regards to the returning actors and the upcoming trilogy. Very exciting stuff. And when it comes to the Hunt for Gollum movie, the story has the potential to bring us an incredible chapter in the Lord of the Rings saga, delving into events that fans have long speculated about. The plot could focus on Aragorn's literal hunt for Gollum. This journey would take him close to the borders of Mordor, eventually leading to the capture of Gollum in the Dead Marshes. From there, we'd see him brought to the Woodland Realm and meet Thranduil and his interrogation by Gandalf, and then later his eventual escape during an orc attack. And the movie could even conclude with Gollum being trapped inside the mines of Moria, a pivotal setup for the Fellowship of the Ring. Even though these details have mostly been speculation so far, Philippa Boyens revealed in a recent interview that the Hunt for Gollum is set during the Fellowship of the Ring era, shortly before Frodo Baggins leaves the Shire for Rivendell. And it begins with Gandalf sending Aragorn on a quest to find Gollum, who the wizard fears may reveal information about the One Ring to Sauron. So, as a lot of people speculated, the movie will indeed be set between Bilbo's 111th birthday and the events happening in Moria. But there is also a twist. It might go even deeper into Gollum's past. The story could reach as far back as Gollum's first emergence from the Misty Mountains as he tries to track down Bilbo. If this happens, it would effectively turn the film into a bridge between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogies, weaving the two sagas together even more tightly. But this particular part is just speculative at this point, to be completely clear. Andy Serkis, the legend behind Gollum himself, is stepping into the director's chair for this project, as well as actually reprising the role of Gollum. If anyone understands the nuances of this character, it's Serkis, and I'm eager to see how his directional vision shapes the film. And speaking of legends, Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Peter Jackson are serving as producers. With this powerhouse team at the helm, it's no wonder a lot of people are already excited about this project. Interestingly, it seems like the story has been in the works since October last year, which shows how much care and effort are being poured into this development. And if these details are true, this could be one of the most exciting additions to Middle-earth we've seen in years. Now let's talk about what Philippa Boyens recently revealed about the Hunt for Gollum. In an interview with The Playlist, Boyens shared some exciting details about Aragorn's pivotal role in the upcoming film, and yes, they're hoping to bring back Viggo Mortensen to reprise the character we all know and love. So will Viggo actually return? Well, Boyens said that it's ultimately up to him, and they're still in the early stages of the project. She mentioned that everyone involved, herself, Andy Serkis, and Peter Jackson, has spoken to Viggo about the role, but as of now, he hasn't seen a script, and his decision will depend on how well the character is written and whether he feels it's a performance worth taking on. Which makes me feel like if he turns down the role, that's a quiet worrying omen for the project. But interestingly, Boyens also emphasized that if Viggo chooses not to return, they still want him to be involved in some capacity, perhaps to help pass the torch to another actor, but for now all eyes are on the script, which Boyens admitted is her top priority. While there's hope for Viggo Mortensen's return as Aragorn, it seems Hugo Weaving, who famously portrayed Elrond, has a very different perspective. In a fairly recent interview, Weaving shared his thoughts on the idea of returning to Middle-earth, and they weren't exactly positive. He explained that while he loved being part of the franchise and appreciated the experience of working in New Zealand with Peter Jackson, he feels that he's had enough of Middle-earth. In his own words, "I don't imagine anyone would ask me to do it again." Weaving also pointed out the unique challenge of portraying Elrond, an immortal being, when the actor himself is aging. He joked about how even during the reshoots for The Lord of the Rings and filming The Hobbit, he felt the effects of time catching up with him. For him, returning to play Elrond doesn't seem feasible or desirable at this point. It feels like this story could be told without Elrond's involvement, but if they decided to include him, I feel like it has to be Hugo Weaving playing the role, as casting a brand new actor in a role during the same era would feel very strange, at least if most of the other characters are played by returning actors. Now let's talk about two other characters who might make a comeback, who have had a bit more of a positive response: Gandalf and Legolas. First of all, Ian McKellen has all but confirmed that he's ready to don the wizard hat again. Speaking recently, McKellen shared that he's been told that Gandalf will be involved in the hunt for Gollum and that the filmmakers hope that he will reprise the role. In classic Gandalf fashion, he added, "I'm not letting anyone else put on the pointy hat and beard if I can help it." So it's safe to say that we might see the Grey Pilgrim return to Middle-earth as long as Ian stays healthy, considering he's 85 years old. And what about Legolas? Well, Orlando Bloom has also expressed interest in returning, saying that he would happily reprise the role if Peter Jackson is involved. The only catch: elves don't age. Bloom joked that technology like AI might be the key to making it work, but he's still eager to join the project. In his own words, "If Peter told me to jump, I would ask how high." One of the biggest challenges for the hunt for Gollum is that many of the iconic characters are played by actors who are now decades older than they were in the original trilogy. This means that different de-aging techniques or deepfakes will have to be used, which is a complicated topic that we will tackle in a future video. Now let's turn our attention to something even more exciting: Philippa Boyan's recent comments about the possibility of a brand new Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yes, you heard that right, a new trilogy that could rival the scale of the original films, if we're allowed to be a little bit optimistic. In a recent interview, Boyens revealed that the creative team behind Middle-earth, which includes herself, Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh, has been brainstorming an array of new stories. These include standalone films, potential more anime films, and even the prospect of another full-fledged trilogy that she described as being in the vein of the original Lord of the Rings films. Boyens explained that the future of these projects ultimately depends on the fans. In her words, "We're in the audience's hands. If there's an appetite for it, we've got more stories." She added that while she personally leans towards exploring standalone tales after the hunt for Gollum, there are several epic particular stories that could be adapted into a traditional trilogy format. This is obviously big news and it opens up the doors for some thrilling possibilities, but what could this potential new trilogy look like? Let's dive into some speculation on the big contenders for a story of this size. One of the most compelling candidates for a new trilogy is The Wars of the Witch King and Arnor. This epic saga set in the Third Age tells the tragic story of the northern kingdom of Arnor, its struggles against the Witch King of Angmar and its ultimate fall. It's a tale filled with drama, heroism and heartbreak that could rival the original Lord of the Rings trilogy in both scale and emotion. The story could begin by introducing Arnor at the height of its power, then detail how Elendil's once great kingdom splinters into the rival realms of Arthedain, Cardolan and Rhudaur, driven by political intrigue and competing ambitions. The Witch King's rise would come into focus as he infiltrates Rhudaur, turning it into a puppet state with its leaders corrupted and loyal to his will. The narrative might also highlight places like Fornost, the fortified stronghold of Arthedain, and the borderlands rife with tension between the three fractured states. The focus would then shift to the Witch King's war against the Northern Realms, where we could see dramatic sieges of key locations such as Amon Sul, also known as Weathertop, as seen in the Fellowship of the Ring, where the men of Cardolan make a valiant last stand before the tower falls. The Elves of Rivendell, led by Elrond, could stage critical counterattacks, while Galadriel and the Galadrim offer strategic support to the faltering Dunedain. These scenes might bring to life the forests of Lindon, the rugged hills of Eregion, and the desolate lands where the battles rage against the Witch King's forces of orcs and Barrow-wights. And the potential finale to the story would center around the Battle of Fornost, where Gondor's Prince Ernur leads an army to aid the pressed Arthedain forces. Fornost, with its high walls and embattled streets, becomes the stage for an epic confrontation between the united forces of men, elves, and the Witch King's dark armies. And after fierce fighting, the Alliance drives the Witch King from Fornost, forcing him to retreat to Angmar. The devastation, however, leaves Arnor in ruins, with important moments like Glorfindel delivering his iconic prophecy about the Witch King's eventual doom. "Do not pursue him, he will not return to this land. Far off yet is his doom, and not by the hand of man will he fall." directly linking the story to The Lord of the Rings and The Return of the King. The storyline would provide a rich exploration of Middle-earth's history, giving us a deeper understanding of the Dunedain, the origins of the Rangers, how the Hobbits settled in the Shire, and the Witch King's rise to power. I personally think that this is the most likely story to be told in a trilogy, simply because it ties directly into so much in The Lord of the Rings, and most importantly, it has a lot of untold stories that the casual audience might not have heard about other than brief mentions. And it also includes enough epic moments to create some very memorable scenes. But there is also another compelling direction that a trilogy could focus on, which would be the conflicts in the Northern Realms during the War of the Ring, running parallel to the events of The Lord of the Rings. Because while Frodo and the Fellowship journey to destroy the One Ring, the northern regions face their own battles against Sauron's forces, highlighting the broader struggle across Middle-earth. The story could delve into Dol Guldur's assault to Mirkwood, where Thranduil's elves defend their forested homeland against waves of invaders. The Woodland Realm endures fierce battles with fire and destruction threatening its borders, but the elves still emerge resolute. Simultaneously, Lothlorien faces its own sieges, with the Galadrim standing firm under Galadriel's leadership and the protective power of her ring Nenya. The narrative could also explore the desperate resistance of the woodmen in Mirkwood, while shifting to the Easterlings' invasion of Dale and Erebor. The men of Dale, led by King Brand, and the dwarves of Erebor under King Dane Ironfoot, unite to defend their lands. Their effort lead to a heroic but costly defense, culminating in a retreat to the Lonely Mountain after the loss of both leaders in a climatic battle before Erebor's gates. And the conclusion of the trilogy could focus on the turning point of these struggles. The news of Sauron's fall shifts the momentum, enabling the new leaders Bard II of Dale and Thorin III Stonehelm of Erebor to rally their forces and drive the Easterlings from their lands. Meanwhile, the elves of Lothlorien, led by Celeborn and Galadriel, cross the Anduin to confront Dol Guldur. The fortress falls, and Galadriel's destruction of its walls marks the end of Sauron's lingering influence in the north, cleansing the forest and bringing hope to the region. This trilogy would instead spotlight the resilience of the Northern Realms and their pivotal role in the War of the Ring, offering a fresh perspective on the larger conflict while delivering epic battles and moments of profound heroism. I think they could go for this story if they really want to tie it into the original Lord of the Rings trilogy and get the same audience in there by referencing events and characters that people are already fond of. So it's a little bit more risk-free than telling the story of Arnor, but it could also turn out to be very mediocre and feel like it's just right in the nostalgia from Lord of the Rings. But well, that wraps up today's news and speculation. It's truly an exciting time to be a Lord of the Rings fan. The future of Middle-earth definitely looks brighter than ever. But what about you? Which projects and news has you most excited? And out of our 2 ideas for the new trilogy, which one do you think would fit best? Let us know in the comments below, as we love hearing your thoughts. Before we go, a massive thank you to all of you for helping us hit 100,000 subscribers. It's been an incredible journey, and we're beyond grateful for your support this year, not just by watching and sharing our videos, but also through your enthusiasm for our Middle-earth inspired merch. Seeing your love for this world means everything to us, and we've sent out thank you messages to everyone who purchased anything from our shop, and it's been such a joy to connect with so many of you. We're planning a proper celebration for this milestone next year, so stay tuned for that. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the orcs be with you.